It's your boy ConcertViz34. This is the second live stream take of my reaction to Ants Podcast 93. Shout out to everyone at antsmarching.com, one of the great Dave Matthews Band fan sites, forums, kind of locations that get news. And I salute them because what the people at Ants do is they've created an environment where we can be fans of a band, but also be critical of them. I don't like too much of the I'll hear this artist play the phone book all day, every day, and I won't complain. And hey, life is so tough that you shouldn't complain about settlers. They're humans, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's cool. But I do like that Ants does challenge this band more than a lot of the other fan pages that tend to just be all positive, no negative. That said, I did have some thoughts on a discussion from the Ants podcast, number 93, when it comes to setlist variety. And it's really just the clear cut answer to one of the questions there, as far as is this band going to be a band that continues to expand the amount of live songs they play as their catalog grows? The answer is no. And one thing that I'll tie this back to is a band I like called Rush. Rush had a tour in 2014, and Neil Peart was 61. Okay, now Neil has been through a lot more than some of the members of Dave Matthews Band as far as physical limitations, and he also is in a band that mixes it up a little bit, but they pretty much play the same set. But the reason I bring him up is because he was 61 for part of the year in 2014 when I saw Rush. That was their last tour as a trio. And this year we find ourselves as DMB fans, Carter Beauford is going to be 61 in November. This band is getting older. Carter Beauford does things to make sure that he still can play solid when he steps up to the plate for a show. Icing himself, doing different exercises. He's doing a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't see to maintain the consistency that he does maintain on a show by show basis. Now, you can argue that his peak is over, that his best years are behind him, but he's still doing pretty good every show, and he's one of the best drummers ever, and one of the best drummers that's currently touring in the world as far as any band that's out there. And I think Carter is a very big point of why this band may not be playing two-step, why they may not be mixing it up. I don't think it's Buddy, okay? I don't think it's Buddy, because Buddy can get on anything and jam. Shout out to Buddy Strong. I really think it has to do with Carter. It has to do with Dave a little bit, but it's really Carter and what he can play, the different stuff he can play, and the energy that this band exerts, especially Carter. When we look at the Fishes, the Dead and Companies, or the Grateful Dead members, shout out to my boy Mickey and Billy out there. And we look at other bands that have these set lists, Widespread, MF Panic, that you have a different set every night. The energy on stage isn't as passionate as the Dave Matthews Band is. So it's easier to play out the catalog. It's more technical. They still have soul, and they have a lot of emotion in their solos, but they're not sweating like DMB is when they're on stage, like Dave is, like Carter is. The passion that they put into their shows is different. So we're not going to ever get the variety of a Fish for DMB. Now, while we won't get that, could we hope for a little bit more variety than we've gotten this summer? And I think that we really can't. There'll be more songs that come out with SPAC, with Deer Creek coming up, with The Gorge. But I really think that this band is going to give us some great shows spotted here and there, but we're not going to get this massive amount of improvement from 2016, 15, 14, and 13 as far as the variety of songs played. We really aren't. There's more songs to work with, but we're not going to get that much more of a variety, and may even be less this year. So that's as far as with Ants. Their question, my answer to their question is, look, we're not going to get more variety. That's just the reality. And really what you have to do is, the reality is you got to cut your shows. If you're going to 5 to 10 shows and you're trying to chase this band like he could have done back in 2000 or 2001 or 99, 98. 98 was a dope year, before these crowded streets. And you can't do that anymore. They're not in that prime. It's really like LeBron James now versus LeBron James about 8 years ago. What happens with LeBron if you're not an NBA fan? He always plays at Madison Square Garden. If he's healthy, he usually plays. Now he'll sit out games in other venues that aren't important. You go to Milwaukee, he'll probably sit out that game. Indiana, they play him a bunch of times. He'll sit out one of those games just to rest. But when he comes to the MSG, whether the Knicks are good or bad, he puts up numbers. This is what DMB is going to do. This is what they've been doing and what they'll continue to do. You will get a bunch of songs whipped out in Saratoga Springs, at the Gorge, obviously. Sometimes, depending on how they're feeling at Deer Creek, you're going to get some stuff. Hartford, where I live, we've gotten a bunch of different things, like a Burning Down the House Liberation. We've gotten, this year, we got a Captain Tour debut. We've gotten a Dreaming Tree back in 2013. This band is going to whip out stuff at venues that are special to them. Other than that, you're going to get, if you're trying to chase them across Darien Lake, and then you may have gone prior to Syracuse, and then maybe you'll hit them somewhere else like New Jersey, Homedale, New Jersey. You're not really gonna get. You're probably gonna get some of this. You go to 4 of those shows or something. 2 of them are 2 and 2. You pair them off. 2 of the shows are gonna sound the same. The other 2 are gonna sound the same. You're not going to get a bunch of variety, but you know what? That's okay, because to me, here's what you can hope for. You can hope for, the band to be more solid. This year, they are better than they were in 2016. The cohesiveness of every player playing solos, the variety and the types of solos you're getting, the new outros you're getting, these are things that were more dry and more predictable back in 2016, 2015, 2014. The changes, the adversity this band has gone through has helped those varieties of intros, outros, things in the middle. It's also helped with song placement variety. We got a Gray Street in the middle of the set in Mansfield, Massachusetts, okay? We had a Jimmy Thing close out Milwaukee, okay? And while I think Jimmy Thing should be down to 7 minutes, like they said on the Ants podcast, I agree 100%, bro. At least they're putting it in a different spot. That's what we can hope for. We can hope for this band to be just a little more solid without Boyd. No offense to Boyd, but since he's left, you see even Ants without him, the most cohesive I've seen, and I only been going since 2012. So I can't say how it was back in the day. But Boyd, it was hit and miss. He had some screeches on his violin. This band is more solid without him being there, as far as from a technical and an emotional standpoint. Because Boyd goes up and down. Oh, I'm in this song. Hey, I'm not in this song. Oh, I'm in this song. Oh, I'm not in this song. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. We can hope for that. And so really, song choice, song placement, those are the things that are gonna be mixed up. But the variety is not there. But you know what? Like I just said, I went to go see Rush, and Rush is amazing live. I really wish I could have caught him more times in my lifetime than I did. But you're not going to get a U2 type set where it's predictable to the point where there's literally every song is played exactly the same. You're not even going to get a Rush or a John Mayer type set where they rotate 2 or 3 songs in and out every now and then. You're going to get set lists a little more diverse than Rush in a John Mayer solo, I'm talking about, like he did last year. You're going to get a little bit more variety, but this if you go to 10 shows, or you pick shows here and there, of those 10 shows, half of them are going to sound one way, half of them are going to sound the other, and it's really like you only went to 2 or 3 shows if you went to 10. So cut your shows down, expect set list variety, expect this band to be a little more tighter for a couple more years. We may still see a decline, and again, I think part of the age of Carter is a big factor, why we haven't seen two-step, why we may not get certain songs per se with the full band, but we get them with Dave and Tim. Thank you again, Ants. Let me know what you guys think. If you're one of the dudes, I love listening to your podcast. Just wanted to give my 2 cents, and again, my answer that, look, this band is not going to be playing out more of the catalog. They're going to have highlighted shows where they play it. But again, we can hope for cohesive, more solid sounding shows, and we can also see some variety in the song placement. It's your boy Conserviz 34, and I'm out.